Hi there. Thank you so much for being here today, joining me on the mat for this 30-minute spicy hip opening flow. We are going to begin in a child's pose towards the back of the mat. So go ahead and spread your knees wide, big toes together. Send your hips back towards your heels as you lengthen through the spine, reaching the crown of the head and the fingertips towards the front of the mat. Taking a few deep breaths here to allow ourselves to arrive into our body, into the space, and to just start slowing everything down. As you inhale, imagine the breath creating space around your hips, and with your exhale, letting the hips soften a little deeper. Keeping the knees wide, big toes together, softly begin to push yourself up to a wide leg tabletop, bringing the hands beneath your shoulders. Arch your spine, and as you keep that arch, begin to glide yourself forward and back, letting this movement come from the pelvis and hips. Beginning to explore your range of motion here and just also how the hips feel. Create a little more space with each movement. Becoming a little more explorative here, maybe coming in with some hip circles or sending the hips a little bit more side to side. Also feeling where your hips may feel a little bit stuck and starting to lean into those spaces. On your next exhale, as you glide your hips back, keep sending the hips all the way back, walking your hands back towards your feet. Tuck your toes, spread the feet wide, toes slightly pointing out. So we bring ourselves into a malasana yogi squat, bringing your hands together at your heart in Anjali Mudra, elbows against the knees, really pressing the elbows into the knees to really open up the hips wide here. Create space through your hips as you breathe, letting your pelvis sink a little closer towards the earth, but still staying lifted in the spine, heart, and crown. Settling here for a few breaths and just simply noticing what's available. Start to press your feet into the ground as you lift yourself up to a standing inhale. Sweep the arms up above your head, palms together. Exhale, you're going to bring your hands back to your heart center and come back down into a malasana. We are doing this movement through the strength and mobility of our hips. Using our feet and hips to press back up into a standing inhale. Sweep the arms up nice and tall. Exhale, bring the hands back at your heart. Send the hips towards the earth, back into a malasana. Staying here for a breath as we breathe a little more softness into our hips. Start pressing the feet into the earth. Squeeze the hips as you lift yourself up, arms sweep up above your head. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to fold at the hips, coming into Uttanasana, forward folds. You can grab onto your ankles here. Pull your body closer to your legs. Maybe bend into one knee then the other. Trying to lengthen the back of the legs as much as you can, like you're sending those hips up high and reaching the crown of the head towards the earth. Begin to release and place your hands on the mat as you walk them to the front of the mat, bringing ourselves into Adho Mukha Savasana, downward facing dog. Send those hips high, really lengthen the whole backside of those legs as you reach the heels towards the earth. Inhale as you sweep the right leg up to the sky, point the toe. Exhale, bend the knee, opening up the hip, point the knee as high as you can, and start drawing some circles in one direction here. As big and wide of a circle as you can, exploring the range of motion here in your hip. And switch the direction. And beginning to straighten that leg back up into three-legged dog. Flex the foot, really reach out through your heel, really activate keeping that leg straight as you slowly sweep the leg around and forward, bringing the foot in between your hands and rising into a low crescent lunge. Keep driving the hips down towards the mat and lifting up through your heart. Begin to place the hands back down on the mat to frame the foot and reach back through that heel to lift the leg back up and around with control back to a three-legged dog. We're going to bend the knee, open up that hip again. and straightening it back out to three-legged dog. Again, flexing the foot, coming back with control as we sweep that leg around and forward to the top of the mat. Drop the back knee, arms reach up high, back to low crescent lunge. As you take your next exhale, go ahead and frame the foot, press into the mat, lift the leg, press through that heel again, sweep that leg up and around back to three-legged dog. And exhale, we bend the knee, opening up the hip again. Begin to straighten that leg back out to three-legged dog, flex the foot, and one more time as we reach out through the heel, sweep it around to the side, bringing the foot to the top of the mat, coming into low crescent lunge. Inhale as we reach up high through the heart and the hands. Exhale, we're going to bring our hands at our heart. Shift your weight onto the front foot as you open to the long side of the mat, staying low in the hips, coming into Skandasana. Keeping the extended leg very active and engaged here. Press back into the front foot, turning to the face of the front of the mat, rising into crescent. Exhale, bring our hands down at our heart, open up to the long side of the mat again, coming back into Skandasana. From here, press into your bent leg and use the strength of your hips to lift and turn you into high lunge. And letting your hips drive the transition as we come back down into Skandasana. Pressing into the floor, coming back into high lunge. Exhale, coming back down into Skandasana. And coming back into high lunge. Place the hands back down onto the mat. Sweep the right leg back up to the sky, three-legged dog. And exhale, bring that foot back down to meet the other as you come into downward facing dog. As you take your next inhale, lift the left leg up to the sky, point the toe, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee and go ahead and open up that hip, sending that knee high. Begin drawing some nice big hip circles in one direction. And go ahead and switch the direction here. Maybe you notice a little more range of movement on one side than the other. Begin to straighten the leg back out into three-legged dog. Flex the foot, keep reaching out through the heel. Engage that leg as you reach it around, placing the foot to the top of the mat. Drop the back leg. Inhale, we come up to low crescent lunge. Exhale, hands come back down, press through that front foot, reach the heel, send the leg back into three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open up the hips, send the knee high to the sky. Straighten that leg back out, flex the foot. Here we go again, bringing that foot with control around to the front of the mat. Drop the back leg, low crescent lunge. One more time as we bring our hands down onto the mat. Shift the weight to that front foot as we press into the mat to lift that leg back up into three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Straighten out that leg, flex the foot as we come around one last time. With the most control and engagement yet, place that foot in the top of the mat, rise into low crescent. And exhale, bring your hands at your heart. Lift the back leg off the mat into high lunge. Start to turn to the long side of the mat, bend into that front knee, Skandasana. Keep the hips low as you drive into that front foot to turn yourself up and around back into low crescent. And we come back down into Skandasana again, letting this movement come from the strength of our hips, moving from Skandasana to high lunge. One more time, we come back down into Skandasana, keeping the hands at our hearts, and come back into high lunge. Begin to drop the hands onto the mat, press into the earth as you lift that left leg back up to the sky, three-legged dog. And exhale, we're going to place that leg back down to meet the other, downward facing dog. As you exhale, softly start to drop your knees onto the mat, coming into a tabletop, and keep sending your hips back, swing the legs to the side so you can go ahead and land onto the mat. Feet come in front of you, soles of the feet together, we come into Baddha Konasana, butterfly. Grabbing a hold of the feet or the ankles, keep driving the knees towards the ground. Stay tall through the spine. Keep the heart reaching forward. You feel a slight arch in your spine here. And of course, breathing into your hip space here. And begin to release your hands from your ankles and bring your hands at your heart. Keep engaging through the hips, actively drawing the thighs toward the floor, creating that external rotation. keeping your hands at your heart, bring your knees together, come onto your toes, and then slowly lower the knees down so they land softly onto the mat and you're sitting back on your heels. Release the hands and place them behind you. Keep yourself lifted up through the heart. Draw the knees up towards your chest and then open them up wide and we lower them back down. Continuing here in a circle, moving from the hips, really exploring our full range of the circle. And then we're going to reverse the motion. So we open up wide, compress the knees to our chest, knees together as they come down. Again, letting this movement really be isolated and coming from our hips as we continue to draw a few more circles here. As you finish up your last circle, you're going to softly land your hip bones onto the mat and come down onto our back. Straightening out the right leg and bringing the left knee in towards your chest. We are going to come into some reclined hip circles here. So really keep your lower back grounded against the mat. We're going to open that left knee to the side and then straighten the leg. Keep the leg hovered and bring that knee back up into your chest. Keep that opposite hip grounded as well as you slowly move from the hips and draw some hip circles here, really exploring your full range of motion. And then you're going to come around and go the opposite way. So you're going to open up the knee to the side as you bend, bring the knee in towards your chest, and then straighten the leg, hover it. Open it up to the side, bring the knee in, and straighten. And the next time your knee comes around to the side, you're going to leave it there. Bring that hand on the knee so you press it into the mat. So we're in this reclined half frog. So let the leg be in a 90-degree angle. And you can use that hand to gently drive the knee and the thigh towards the ground, sending your breath to that left hip to create some more space and softness within it. Begin to bend that right knee coming onto the sole of the foot, bringing that left ankle just above that knee. Lift the foot up off the ground. We come into a reclined figure four. Actively press that knee away from you for a nice external rotation here, as you also pull your legs closer towards your body. And keep the back and your pelvic grounded onto the mat so we're nice and flat. If you want, you can straighten that leg, grabbing the ankle or the shin, pull that leg closer towards you, just come into a little bit of a deeper version of your reclined figure four. Release the leg and place that foot back down onto the mat, still in our figure four position, and start to drop your legs to the right so the sole of that foot lands onto the ground, and you start to turn and twist to the left, using that right hand to press your knee away from you to help externally rotate that hip. So we're here in a lovely little supine twist plus a lovely external hip rotation. Now release the hand and see if you can maintain that external rotation from the strength of your own hips as you also continue the twist. And start to come out of the twist, coming back onto your back, undoing the figure four and bringing your legs straight down onto the mat. We're going to leave the left leg straight now and bring the right knee into your chest. Again, grounding the low back and the left hip into the mat. We're going to draw some of the knee circles now with the right leg. Bringing the knee in towards your chest. Keep it bent as you open it up to the side as much as you can, and straighten the leg, let it hover. Bring the knee into your chest. Again, now exploring the range of motion on this leg. Switching the direction there, so bend the knee, open it up to the side, bring it into your chest, and then straighten the leg. Again, letting this movement come from the hips themselves. Take one more full circle here. Open up the knee to the side, but this time let the leg land so we're in that reclined frog position, and we bring the hand on top of our knee to gently press the knee towards the ground to open up that hip, breathing into that area, allowing softness and space to arrive. Bend into that left knee, bringing the sole of the foot on the earth and that right ankle just above the knee. Lifting up the legs, we come into a reclined figure four. Again, externally rotating that hip so that knee is being sent away from our body as we are also pulling our legs towards our body. You can stay here with the knee bent, or if you want, you can straighten that leg, grabbing the foot, ankle, or shin. Continue pulling the legs closer towards your body as you keep externally rotating that knee. Just coming in for a little deeper variation of reclined figure four. Release the leg, let that sole of the foot land back onto the mat, staying in our figure four position as we go ahead and drop the legs softly to our left and twist to our right, using our left hand to press that knee away from us. So we're in our twist here with a nice external hip rotation. Keep that engagement of your hips and external rotation as you release the hands, and now maintain that external rotation with the own strength of your hips. Begin to unravel the twist, uncross the legs, bring your knees into your chest. Rock up to sit, draw your knees into your chest, come onto your toes and sit back onto your heels. Bring your hands onto the ground, press through your feet, straighten the legs, reach up through the hips, pull the heels towards the ground, and continue to rise all the way up to a standing, arms above your head, palms together. Exhale, hands at your heart. Release your hands from your heart, place them onto your hips. Start to shift your weight onto that left foot. Keeping the hips square, you start to hinge forward, and that right leg starts to lift up off the earth, coming into warrior three. Pelvic bone is square to the mat, and we're extending through that right hip. Bring your hands down onto the mat. Keep the lifted leg long and the hips steady as you open that leg out to the side, and then return it straight back. Keep reaching through that foot as you open up that leg to the side. Squeeze the glutes, see if you can lift the leg a little bit higher, and send it back. One more time, we open up the leg to the side, letting it move without letting the pelvis move with it. And then we bring it straight back, point through the toes. Bring the leg out to the side one more time, and then release it back down to meet the other. Press through your heels to lift yourself up to a standing. Arms reach above your head. Exhale, hands at your heart. Grounding through that left leg as you bring the right knee into your chest. And exhale, we're going to send that leg to the back of the mat, coming into high crescent lunge. From here, we will open up to the long side of the mat. Bring our hands at our heart as we sink into Skandasana. Stay low in the hips as you shift your weight across and move into Skandasana on the opposite side. Shifting a few times from side to side here, using your hips to control the movement. As we bring ourselves back to the front of the mat, bending into that left knee, you're going to turn your body so you face the front of the mat, coming into high crescent lunge. And exhale, hands come down onto the ground. Step that foot back to meet the other, coming into downward facing dog. Inhale, come onto your toes, look to the front of the mat, bend the knees, hop to the front, bringing your feet in between our hands as you rise to standing, arms sweep above, palms together, and exhale, bring our hands at our heart. Now grounding into the right foot, feeling nice and stable here, keeping our hands at our heart. Start to tilt your body forward so we come into warrior three. Now the left leg lifts up, extending through that hip as the crown reaches forward. Start to release the hands onto the ground, and we're going to bring that leg to the side, and we bring it straight back. Again, letting the pelvic bone stay as neutral as it can, and this movement really coming from your hips. With steadiness and control, open that leg to the side, keep it lifted, and point it straight back. One more time, open the leg up to the side, squeeze the glute, lift it a little bit higher, and release the leg straight back, dropping the leg all the way to the back of the mat as we rise up into high crescent lunge. Bring your hands to your heart, shift your weight as you turn towards the long edge of your mat and sinking your hips into Skandasana, keeping those hips low again, moving from side to side. We come back into the front of the mat, press into your foot, use the strength to rise up into high crescent. And exhale, place the hands onto the ground, right leg steps back into downward facing dog. Begin to turn toward the long edge of your mat and step 1 foot wide. Turn your toes slightly out and begin to bend the knees, sink into the hips, and lift your body coming into a goddess pose, keeping your hands softly on your knees. So we are gently pressing the knees back with a nice external rotation here, and maybe find a little movement by shifting side to side. Keep sinking into the hips, release the hands, bringing them at your heart, continuing to use your strength with that external rotation. Release the hands onto the mat, straighten the legs. You could bring them a little wider, coming into a wide leg forward fold. Keep your hands grounded and moving from the hips, begin to open up your toes, bend the knees, sink into the hips, and then we press up, straighten the legs. Bend back into the knees, sink the hips. Also keep externally those knees away, and we straighten. One more time, we sink and bend, and we straighten. Start to bend into that right knee, coming into a Skandasana. Extend through the left, reach that left arm up to the sky. Come down onto your hips, bring that right leg into half hero as we reach forward over the extended leg. Push back into that right heel to lift back up into Skandasana, continuing to turn the body to the front of the mat, arms inside that leg, coming into a lizard. Bringing ourselves back into Skandasana, coming back into that half hero, reaching over the extended leg. Hands at the heart, one more time, press into the foot, lift up Skandasana. Keep turning to the front, release the hands, and we reach forward into a lizard. Bring the hands back at your heart, lift up Skandasana. Keep the hips low as you shift your weight to the other side, coming into Skandasana at the back of the mat. Turn towards your extended leg, fold over it, and lower the bent knee into half hero. Hands back at the heart, we press into the foot, lift back up into Skandasana. Shift forward as we reach our arms long, coming into lizard. One more time, hands at our heart, Skandasana. Continue to turn, fold over the extended leg, opposite in half hero. Lift back up into Skandasana, press through that heel, and continue to the front of the mat, reach the arms forward, coming into a lizard. We come back into a Skandasana and come back into our wide leg forward fold. Begin to bend the knees, widen the legs if you need to, and softly land the knees onto the mat. As you walk your hands forward, we come into our frog. Stay on your hands using the ground as support as you actively drive your hips and your knees into and towards the ground. Hold here actively as you press the knees into the mat and you draw your hips down towards the earth, keeping that engagement as you're also breathing through the space. Lower down onto your forearms and gently tuck your pelvic bone under, sending it forward, and then release it. Slight arch in the spine, send it back. A few movements here of anterior, posterior pelvic tucks, and you can feel quite the sensation in your hips as you're here in frog. And now that we've created even more space, we'll allow ourselves to find some more stillness here in our frog. So next we will be making our way into a headstand, and if this is not available for you today, you are more than welcome to stay in frog or to take anything that feels supportive for your body today. Make a triangle with your forearms, elbows below the shoulders, interlace the hands, place to the crown of the head and that nook where your hands are. Keep your legs wide, walking the feet in as close as you can to the body, and you can bring the knees into your chest and lift up from there, or you can keep them wide, becoming a little lighter on your toes, using the strength of your hips to allow yourselves to press up directly into your transversal split. Keep pressing through your forearms and engage your core so you stay lifted and stable. Staying in stillness in your transversal splits or inviting some play here with the legs. Keep that core engaged as you start to lower the feet back to the ground. And we're going to turn to front of the mat, stepping that foot back to meet the other, so we come back into a downward facing dog. Lower down onto your knees, big toes together, spread the knees wide, we come into a child's pose. Letting the body settle and noticing and feeling the space you've created through your hips. Staying here for a few deep, long breaths, letting it return back to its natural rhythm. And just softly allow yourself to make your way onto your back. Bringing your knees into your chest, taking a hold of the knees and just drawing some gentle hip circles. So bring the knees away from one another, then towards one another, knees into your chest. Keep the toes together and the back flat against the mat. And reverse the direction of the circle here. Come into stillness as you hug the knees into your chest. Take a full inhale. As you exhale, you're going to straighten that right leg out, down to the back, to the bottom of the mat. Keep that left knee in, and you're going to start to twist it and drape it over the right as you twist to the left. Coming in for a gentle supine twist here to start slowing down and ending our practice. Breathing into the space around your hips, allowing the breath to soften and expand the body. And start to release the twist. Bring your knees back into your chest. Inhale, squeeze them up. As you exhale, straightening the left leg, bringing the right knee in, and we're going to go ahead and drape that knee over to the left as we twist and gaze to the right. Coming in for supine twist on the other side. Continuing to feel the space in that hip. Breathing into it, softening it with each exhale. Slowly start to come out of that twist. Bring the knees back into your chest, giving yourself a nice big hug. Take a nice full inhale. As you exhale out of the mouth, release the legs. Begin to straighten them to the bottom corners of the mat. Arms at your side, palms open up to the sky, coming into Shavasana. Noticing your hips, your pelvis, your body. Simply receiving the space you've created, allowing the breath to move naturally. Begin to softly and slowly awaken the body, deepen the breath, any little subtle movements. Wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers, maybe flip the palms so you feel the surface beneath you. Begin to draw the knees into your chest as you roll to your right side, coming into a fetus position. Staying here for just a couple breaths and using your hands to gently press yourself up. Keep your eyes soft or closed, bringing yourself back to a cross-legged position. Hands in Anjali Mudra at your heart. Taking a moment to thank yourself for showing up today, for exploring, listening, meeting your body where it's at. Maybe you challenged yourself a lot today. Maybe you discovered new possibilities, new capabilities of your body. So may you carry this sense of strength, space, and possibility with you beyond the mat. Thank you so much for unrolling your mat and practicing with me today. Namaste.